All right, I think we are live. What is going on? Hope everyone is enjoying their Monday evening. I'm with Pedro. My name is Hannibal. Pedro, just a bit
Basketball
on
talk
you.
tonight. There we go.
Basketball, with a little bit of everything talk
Yeah, yeah,
since the Olympics finished, and there's stuff to talk about. Obviously, with some of the Olympic basketball men's team, they won the gold. The women, obviously, they won the gold. I think the one game they had with Nigeria that was still a double-digit win, but it got closer than most of the games they usually destroy the team. So if
yeah,
you did bet the spread, you actually made some money. I don't know how much there was the spread in terms of, but you put a few dollars and you would have got your money
yeah,
back. So overall, what did you think? And put in comments below, guys, if you checked out
yeah,
any of the Olympics. Some of the ratings were pretty good. The men's ratings for basketball was pretty high. The the gymnastics was pretty high. I'm not sure about the track and field, but a lot of people watched because they had some storylines, they had some controversies. The women's
yeah.
boxing I want to talk about because Pedro's very
Mhm.
passionate about that. Where's Giggity? Giggity had a
Where's
comment
Gig
in there.
Giggity? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Um,
I can't wait to hear your kind of thoughts on it. 'Cause I
yeah.
think I would love to
Team
hear your perspective.
team text. Okay, so Cheeky may jump in
Team
as
testicles. There we
and
go. There we go. All right.
talk about that.
I love it. Give me the smoke. Give me
Uh,
the smoke.
so what do you think overall? How was it for you? Like, I don't know, how much did you get to watch? What you thought?
Um, yeah, I didn't. I was very selective. I didn't watch a whole lot. I watched track and field when I could. I thought that was really good. I think USA overall pretty much dominated, especially in the main events. I watched obviously the basketball games. The last couple, I thought those were interesting. I watched some of the swimming. That was fun. I always like to watch the swimming. I think that's very entertaining for me. I missed the breakdancing, but I saw clips of it. I know we had talked about that. I saw
Yeah,
clips after the fact. I think they started on Friday or something. I was
it
busy.
started pretty late in the
Yeah,
Olympic
yeah, yeah,
schedule.
yeah, yeah. And then
We
I've
did,
seen. I mean, the track and the field. I think to me, and the basketball. We'll get into the game that they had versus France. We'll talk about the women's a little bit. I didn't watch a lot of the women's, but I saw the highlights. Um, so I think this year I watched maybe a little bit more than I usually do, at least the last few Olympics,
yeah,
because there was so much either controversy or athletes that you wanted to see fail or succeed, right? So I think there was a lot just going on. The scope of it was big. So I watched some of it, but I thought
yeah,
overall it was good. I
yeah,
kind of, we tie, I think, China for the most golds. I think each country had 40, but we had
yeah.
the most overall medals. So you want us to see you want USA to have the most gold. That's kind of what we usually strive for. But overall, I thought it was good. Definitely a lot of controversy, even from the beginning, the opening ceremonies and who was selected and who did this and that. And that continued throughout the course of the Olympics. I feel like in multiple events, there was something that was happening or not happening, and people had an opinion upon it. So I think that could be good for ratings, but for others, it's bad for the overall sport. Maybe I don't know. How do you feel about that?
We'll talk about, I guess, the controversy with breakdancing later on as
Yeah,
well. That it will not be in LA. That's the sport will not be in LA for 2028. I have some thoughts, but let's talk about some other stuff. So I watched as much as I could. Basically, when there was nothing else on TV, which usually is summer, there's not a lot of stuff on TV. When I take a break, get up off the computer, and also it starts in the morning because I think the time zone where Paris and New York is
yeah,
like 6 hours. So when you get in the morning, they're already competing. So I watched as much as I could. I think I watched a little bit of everything. I saw some fencing. I saw some of the arrow, arrow competition. Obviously rugby,
yeah,
women's and men's. I've seen obviously. I didn't see a lot of women's basketball. I'm sorry, they blow everyone out. It's not much of a
yeah.
competition.
Until the end, until the last game. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the last game where that was pretty cool.
that was crazy.
And I still think they dropped a major. They should have had Caitlin Clark. They should have had the other more popular players. They did. It
Yeah,
was very spiteful, and they almost took shout out to France. France did pretty
bro.
well. I don't know how many medals, but they were in finals of multiple sports. Obviously, the men's, the women's. They were everywhere in terms of
Yeah.
the French
Well,
team.
the one guy won 4 gold medals in swimming,
Yeah,
and he's young, so he's going to be some people are saying he's like kind of like Michael Phelps. He's going to be winning some golds for the next 2 Olympics. So they had the French showed out pretty well.
Yeah, pretty dominant. I think Australia was 4 in terms of medals, and that's why I think, and we'll talk about the breakdancing right now if you want. I think.
I want to get your perspective on it because we texted a little bit, but more in a negative way, maybe, right? So, what do you think?
I don't like to use the word whitewashing, right? Because if you're all talking about buzzwords, and I hate them, but that was as whitewashing or it's obviously it was cringe. Obviously, we can go on YouTube and find better breakdancing. I can go into the MTA subway train and find kids that dance better than what we saw. Men and women. Yeah, the gold medal winners, but when you go on YouTube and see real dance, it blows your mind. You're like, how these people can do what they can do. And I know a lot of people say breakdancing shouldn't be there. It's not a sport. Listen, I would say 90%. Actually, all of the breakdancers are more athletic than the people who are complaining about it in terms of athleticism.
Yes.
Most people can't do 10 push-ups. These people are doing one hand handstands, manipulating their entire body. So their athleticism is, for the best breakdancer, best b-boys and b-girls, their athleticism is stronger than most people. So let's get that out of the way. So and the idea of it's artistic, it's subjective. You have judges. There's judges in many of the sports. Gymnastics is a judge. They have judges. Let
me ask you a question. Did they have to qualify like all the other people, right?
See,
they had to go through regional qualification or not?
So Australia, listen.
You stuck up on this Australian.
I'm because they brought out the worst product of any Olympian probably since it started.
It was pretty bad.
How long the Olympics? Cheeky, you're smart. How long has the Olympics been? Thousands of years. The worst product they ever put was that woman embarrassing herself, and she's doubling down. I don't know what's going on over there, but this is why I think, and this is going to probably be a controversial take, I think they should bring it back for Australia. They need to redeem themselves. It was so bad. And Australia, they had 4th most medals. They're very athletic, great swimmers. They are athletic people.
Rugby, basketball, yeah.
They have to have a better B-girl in Australia that could dance.
I didn't understand it. How do they pick? I mean, do you know how they can? I haven't done any research on this. How are they picking? How are the countries selecting these breakdancers? Because, like you said, you can go to NY, certain parts of maybe even Cali, but specifically NY. You could have found better people on the street, or at a dance competition, or you know what I mean, like than what we saw these countries and us kind of put out there, right? Like, where do these find these people? I don't get it.
It must be a setup. It must be she knows someone very powerful. Apparently, she is a professor or something like that. She's a teacher. She must have some connections. That was embarrassing. So I see some dates here. The first modern Olympics was in 1896, and 776 BC was the earliest. So since 76 BC, there has not been a product that is pushed as bad as what we've seen. And I think she got no points.
Listen, she got on her knees in other ways, bro.
Listen,
clearly,
they need to bring it back
in better ways.
Maybe. I mean,
I'm saying it.
She should, or Australia should redeem themselves. They need a fight to get breakdancing to come back in LA, which I think would be actually kind of cool.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
And bring a better b-ball dance, because I know you and me want to go to Australia, but that was
it makes me almost not want to go.
Me too.
I think you said it best when I texted you, if you had seen it, and you did. I think you said something about secondhand embarrassment, right? That's kind of how I felt.
For me, I have a lot of anxiety, so I catch it really fast. But that was to a point where everyone's looking like, yo, that no one is recognizing anything that she is doing that seems good.
Yeah, it's weird.
She didn't look all that athletic, to be honest. She looked a little thick. And usually when you're doing those kind of moves, you have to be light on your feet, strong core, because you're manipulating your body, like those one hand handstands and the spinning and all that stuff.
Pretty thin. Yeah, the thin. Usually break
Right.
thin people.
So, okay. So Creasy says y'all bugging. She was awesome. Are you Australian?
Yeah, he's trolling, but it's okay.
It's fine. If you made, I mean, that was the weirdest part, and that's why everyone is like, yeah, they shouldn't have it. Yeah, let's get rid of that sport because she came in and looked so off.
Bad.
Yeah, that's a good question. We need to investigate how she got that spot. I bet that she knows some higher ups. She must be family with someone who runs the Olympic organization. And it was like, well, we don't have anyone in Australia to do this.
Or nobody else showed up. Or 10 people showed up for the tryout, and that was the best. Who know?
Wow. Who
you know
lost?
What I'm saying?
Who lost if she got in?
Australians
are athletic people. Yeah. They're strong people. They live with the most dangerous snakes and animals. They like all the poisonous snakes over there. They got to deal with crocodiles, kangaroos. Kangaroos like a big beefy animals that if you go in the water with them, they try to drown you.
Yeah,
and they got to come in with better dancers. So I want to come back.
I mean, at this point, yeah, I'd rather just see a twerking competition. Like, I hate to say it, but like that was just bad. I'd rather just see some other dance competition. You know,
twerking Olympics actually.
That would be
West Pedro, you goddamn genius.
That's
a twerking competition in Olympic sport. Who would win? I guess Brazil, right?
Oh, probably Brazil.
Right, Brazil will win. I know all the Spanish-speaking countries, they got it.
Yeah, I mean,
America will come with a good product, but
America will come up with something. Sexy Red will go over there and probably win bronze or some bullshit.
I don't like her. She dances.
Knows? But that would be entertaining. Because then you have some of the guys that would want to twerk, and all the people.
Okay,
all
right.
Twerking.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
He's talking about women.
Nah, but these Olympics are very up to.
Okay, where's Giggity? Where's Bobby? Gig can cover that one. I will not be watching that. But women twerking, listen. We gotta write a letter. Do people still write letters?
No. We'd have to put a tweet.
Those donkey dunks. Let me see that thought. Oh yeah,
Atlanta
got it right. When Atlanta, because I think Atlanta had Olympics, what 90? I forgot
92? 96.
Definitely 90s. Yeah,
92 was Barcelona with the Dream Team. 96 was Atlanta. That's where they had the fake bomb guy or whatever, the whole thing. Yeah, that was 96.
Bro, that's a brilliant idea. I mean, you can say massage, but like you said, you're smart. Put both. Even though the viewers of one, it will dominate.
I'll tell you this. I'm watching
men's basketball. In terms of ratings.
I'm watching. I'm watching that. If that was that chick's name, Tyler or something. If she's in that competition,
so South Africa, Brazil, Colombia.
Oh man,
that's it. Yeah,
forget about it.
It's the ruck and tug. Listen, it takes a lot of athleticism to, and they don't know the rules and the judge. You could be the judge, give it something like 9.5, something 2. You can. What kind of judge would you be? Like the Simon Cowell, like being very judgmental, like looking at every technique? Or would you be like Paula Abdul, where she was just drunk and just giving everything?
No, I would be super judgmental. I'd be like, you might have to do that again. I need to see that again. I need to see the replay. Like, I'm gonna be super judgmental, bro. I'm gonna take that shit serious. I'm gonna ask him, hey, well, yeah, man, I'd be a dog.
Yeah, all right. You already can disqualify yourself because you're already talking. I could hear what you want to say.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, yeah, it'd be bad.
But yeah, the breaking was not great, and doesn't look like it's going to come back. And Olympics don't want to. They have an image to behold, and if too many people are saying it's not a good product, then they may not put it out. But other than that, okay. Let's talk about the boxing real quick here.
Yes, because there's a lot of controversy there. I think a lot of people feel like they don't want women boxing now. I think I've seen some of that stuff,
So I didn't get to watch any of it. I missed the. Did they stop judo? I didn't see the judo. I didn't see a lot of wrestling. I saw some matches, but I didn't see a lot of the combat stuff other than fencing for some reason. It was always on USA Network. They love fencing.
Here we go. Hold on, put this up. Boom.
Too bad I don't have XY chromosomes. I
Big
couldn't
Carl,
move
Big
on.
Carl. I'll tell you this right now. Even if either of us had it, we get them chicks will beat us up either way, bro.
We do have it. We're XI is yes, we have it.
We have it. Yeah.
The issue is with I mean Leaf, is that her name? His name, her name. You know what? Hey, listen.
You call it. You call her
well,
or she
I'm
whatever
not,
you want.
but the thing is, I don't do that. Like if someone was transgender and now they're or she, I'm not gonna be rude and call them. I don't got time for all that bullshit. Like
right.
You know, I'm not a Ben Shapiro. I'm not running a channel about conservative shit where I have to stay on something because I know in private circles, if a big strong person said call me a woman or call me, he's not going to do. You know what I mean? Like people do this for to be provocative. So
good point.
This person failed a gender test, right? In another organization, right? Mm-hmm. Because they have some, I guess, chromosome, or it has some information showing that she has XY chromosomes.
Correct.
The problem is, where do you draw the line? This is not transgender person that was born. Correct. This is not the swimmer. I forgot the swimmer.
Leah Thompson or something. It's not that. Yeah.
Right.
And we've talked about that, and I think that that's not okay. Right.
Well, like that part was because that was born a man, he died, and then he wants to still compete with women. I know a lot of people are saying this is black and white in terms of, okay, this person has XY, and that has to be because when it comes to Olympics, it has to be, this is the pinnacle of sport. Everything has to be as fair as possible. And it's unfortunate if you are someone who has XY chromosomes,
like intersex is what they call it.
And the problem is, can we just say, well, you can fight with just women that don't have that? That's the problem, right? Obviously, there's also some issues where she's originally from, where I don't know, like there's some issues where it could be a problem because see, other parts of the world, they don't play that shit. Yeah, it's either one or the, and if you think you're trying to either make or they'll take care of you in negative way.
Yep.
But the problem is, I think the Olympics need to be as strict as possible. If you didn't qualify, you failed a gender test over here. What's the explanation you pass it to boxing Olympics? Where's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she wasn't the only one, actually. There was another boxer that had it. But what's your thought process? Is it like, well, they qualified? Like, what's your process of what you think?
It's tough. I'll say this. She was disqualified from like the world boxing, whatever. I think it was maybe 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna look up and see exactly what it was.
And then obviously she's fought other times. She's lost, I think, 9 times to women. She's not some dominant. Okay, I'll say this, and people in the chat, to me, she's a female, and this is why.
Yeah.
I think we have to. It's not just on the surface level. I think there was false reports of her being a trans, and she wasn't a trans, and she's a man, and she's transitioning, but she's not transitioning yet. There was a lot of misinformation in the beginning, and then things kind of cleared it out. Doctors came out and spoke on her behalf. Other people spoke on her behalf for being a man. Reports were saying, well, she's got balls and this, and we've seen, and other reports saying, well, no, medical doctors had to physically look at her genitalia to be approved. And I don't know what's real and not, because I've seen so much, right? I've done videos on it. But to me, I think, there are a number of people that are born with this chromosome and intersex, and there's even another medical term for it. Most of them aren't boxing. And some of them are living as females or men or whatever. She was brought up as a girl. She looks like a girl to me. I think she got a bad rap for a number of reasons. The country she's from, how she looks, how she presents herself, and the fact that she was winning. Because if she lost, nobody cares. People would have been like, yeah, that man won, right? They would have been cheering for that. But because she won, and she won the whole thing, people got like, this isn't, it didn't rub some people the right way. It's like, something's off here. If she's even 0.5% man, she shouldn't be fighting women, because now we got a man beating up on a woman. I don't see it that way.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of a hypocrisy when we talk about gender and or having genetically, you're just better. Michael Phelps, his genetics, his lung capacity, his body gave him a physical advantage. Should he have been disqualified? No, it's different, but maybe not. There's the rugby player. I think her name is Alana or something. That bitch looks like a man. She is strong. She looks like a man. She's a
Is
woman.
that the one from Fiji?
No.
There's
She's
one
American.
like a
She's
really
American. No.
American?
She's American, and she's been like all over TikTok. And I mean, she is a dude. If you look at her, if you're standing next to her in an elevator, you would think that's a man. She looks like a man. Her face is like a man. So I think it's a little hypocritical for us to pick and choose who belongs here, who belongs there. I think it's a scientific anomaly. It's a thing that's very rare. I look at her, I see a chick. That's just what I see, right? So I don't know if she's got a dick and balls. I've heard other people say she's got a vagina. She has a uterus.
Well, yeah, like Cheeky Chop
I
says,
have
bro
no
has
idea.
testicles. He has.
So where's that information coming from?
That's the problem. Like I'm looking, and it says
I don't see anything
from what I
that
see, there's no publicly available information or credible reports that confirm if this person has testicles.
Right.
So basically, she failed the gender eligibility test during the 2023 World Championships, which led to her being banned from participating in that event. The test administered by the International Boxing Association revealed that she had XY chromosomes. So I think it's also like the perfect storm of we've dealing with the transgender athletes trying to participate, and the fact that the fight that we all saw, she punched this person, I think it was an Italian fighter, so hard, the person stopped fighting and started breaking down and crying.
Did you see the times that Italian got hit? Because I have another opinion on. Did you see that 40 seconds of that fight or not?
Real quick, I saw it real quick. I kind of just saw like the aftermath of. She said, "I know the Italian said I've never been hit so hard."
Yeah.
So then the narrative is like, "Damn, what happened?" And then you say, "Well, this person failed, and she has XY chromosome." So the question that comes to you, or I can ask, do you think it's a spectrum, or do you believe that if someone has XY chromosomes, they're male, and if they don't, they're female? Like,
man, you know that's a good question, bro. I'm not a medical. I don't know how to answer that, bro. Honestly, I think the things that I've seen, I'm leaning towards the side of the medical professionals, not people that have any other belief system in whatever or assume. I'm leaning with the medical people, and the medical people that I've seen have said that she has those chromosomes or whatever, but this is why, and she was born a female on her birth certificate, raised as a female, has a uterus and breasts. That's a woman to me. So regardless of what the DNA might say, because there's some intersex things and that happens, because I believe when you're conceived, we all have that. And then in the womb, something happens in your man or your woman. That's how I know it. That's how it was explained to me. With her, she's got a little bit in there, but it's not a dick and a balls. It's just the chromosome. There's a big difference there. Now, I'll say this. If something comes out and there's some whatever, it's like, oh, this Amani Khalif, whatever, she has no breasts and she's got a penis and balls. My opinion is a little bit different. But from what I've heard from medical professionals, that's not the case. So I got no problem saying she's a woman like that. That's a chick. Right. So that's kind of how I look at it. I think there are men out here that have certain female chromosomes. So let's say that's me, right? So does that mean that then I should be able to play with the girls? Like, I think there's two sides of this, but it's interesting. I think it's deeper than just
she got a nutty body.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been other ones. There's been track stars,
This one I remember. This was like very, very early on. Like this is probably the only example I ever saw. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this athlete, but this is like back in like 2009. So this is back in the day where she had to constantly deal with the fact that she was winning. She was pretty good. That, is she male? Is she female? And you look, the eye test, it's hard. You can't do an eye test, right? The way things are. I think it turned out that she did have she had to undergo medication to suppress her testosterone levels. So her testosterone levels were higher than that. Actually, it said natural testosterone levels in a typical male range.
Yeah, but
So
there are other women not doing Olympics that have high testosterone, high hormone. Like there are men that have low T. So if I'm a dude with low testosterone and I'm kind of like I'm 115 pounds, should I be able to play versus the women?
mm,
You know, so
I think a lot of
people
people
thought
say
Serena
no.
Williams was a dude. Some people thought Serena Williams was a man. She was so dominant in the early part. People wanted to have her tested because they thought Serena Williams was a chick because she was so dominant. So is it the issue that they're good at it, or is it the issue that they just are competing at all? You know what I'm saying?
Well, definitely, if you're not good, then no one's recognizing it,
Nobody cares.
right?
Yeah.
So if and that's a problem also was happening with the person that's a male transition to a female still wants to participate in the sport and they're dominating and they're breaking all the records. Then everyone could say, hey, is this fair? If a college athlete decides, okay, I want to be female, but I also want to swim against women
Yeah.
and is knocking off scholarship opportunities in general over
That's
women who's been
fucked
there,
up.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's
100%.
where I think people are. So some people are strict and say, well, listen, if you have elevated testosterone, even if it's not your fault or your fault, it's natural. I'm sorry. But some people who are born with deformities, we all have some issues. Doesn't mean like, listen, we are deformed with the fact that we're not 6'3", 6'4".
I know.
It's not fair,
It's
right?
not
We would
fair.
love to be 6'3", 3'4", but we
Yeah.
can't play NBA. We can't play even Division I basketball. We're not tall. We're not athletic enough.
Yeah.
So you could say life is not fair. I wish I was born differently.
Yeah.
So that's my look at it is it sucks. But if you're born differently, but if your testosterone levels are in a male range,
Yeah.
I don't
So
think
you're
you
saying
should participate.
if that's the case, your stance is like, hey, listen, you're born different. So for whatever reason, testosterone, chromosome, you can't compete then within the gender that you identify as. Because clearly it seems like she identifies as a woman, right?
Yeah.
So then you can't play. I mean, what about Victor Wembanyama? The dude's 8 feet tall. Should he not be able to play basketball because he has a competitive advantage?
Yeah. Well, the thing is difference between I know we use the same example of basketball, right? But I'm just saying being born certain way, right? So if it's a height limitation, let us say only certain height can be an NBA player, then if there was a 7 feet maximum, then he wouldn't able to play.
Yeah.
It could be all. I mean, they'll never do that.
And you're saying in the boxing there is a criteria as far as the testing goes, and that's why she wasn't able to do it last year.
Right. Okay.
But the Olympics let her, and I think some people are like, well, why weren't they allowed to do it last year, and now they're in the Olympics doing it? It seems weird, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
no one should be harassing the person, but that's what happened. Like, especially in this country, I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but the transgender thing, and it's not the same. I'm not saying it's a transgender. It's wow, someone who's born like Sienna right here that have certain disorders, and she, without no fault of her own, has high level of testosterone. That has we used to call that term. Even one of the terms that had both organs, but usually one works, one doesn't. Shit. You used to say that all the time.
Morph or something?
Yeah. Somebody probably put in the because I have the name, but I can't.
Morphodite, right?
Something like that.
Is that appropriate? I think that's medically that's what they would call it.
Right. So this person had an intersex condition.
Yeah.
And this condition only affected genetic males. I'm talking about the athlete, the African athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say it's unfortunate. Maybe it's not fair. Maybe this person should still compete. But I don't know. I just feel like, how about what's up with everyone else? I mean, we have different weights, different sizes of our body, different parts of our body is different. But we all know that men are faster, stronger than women.
Yep.
So, I understand. Like, it's not. I know a lot of people, especially online, everything's black and white.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she has XY, she shouldn't participate, and she's
Yeah.
trans and all it. And then, this man is beating on a woman, like all the others, because we
Yeah.
see some of this issues in our country with the swimming and some MMA.
We
Like there
talked
was
about
an
it on this
MMA
channel,
fighter was
Channel
transgender and was
Fox. Yeah.
beating the shit out of women.
Yep.
It didn't
Yep.
look good. Like I'm like,
No,
this
we
is
were
not
against that. I'm against
right.
that. I think that's completely different. And I think some people jumped the gun and assumed and like put her in that box of like, oh, that's
Right.
you know, and then
Yeah.
that's where it kind of snowballed. And then it was like, you know, we had celebrities like Logan Paul and his brother and David Portnoy and other people like saying this is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I just felt like that was not the case. But
The scene
you know,
of her, of that Italian boxer crying, and again, a woman. So we all, it's all, especially our male brains, we see a woman
yeah,
distraught in pain, and
yeah.
apparently she fought, her father wanted her to be in the Olympics, and she got
Yeah.
there, and
She was trash.
We-
She quit.
she
How
quit.
can you, let me ask you this, bro. If that's a USA boxer, I'm not mad. I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed if she didn't get hit that hard. I watched that fight. Like
Yeah.
the replay. She didn't get hit that hard. She didn't want to fight. I'm thinking like this is Italy. This is what you represent. Like it was kind of.
I mean, oh well, you know, and I'm jumping around, but let's say, all right, I'm sure you're a fan of Roberto Duran, right?
Yeah. Oh,
that
quit.
dude,
Yeah.
No quit. No mas.
No mas.
Fighting Sugar Ray Leonard. I wouldn't call him any shit into his face right now.
No, but that's a great point that you bring that up because that was, legendary.
Yeah. And I think
he said it two different times, but that was well into the fight. This was the chick barely got hit and it was 40 seconds into the fight. You're gonna quit like that. So little different, but there's definitely some similarities because they quit. They were like, nope, I don't want to do this. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of embarrassing, but I understood
think she had those ideas of who she was fighting. In the moment, she's like, okay, I can't do this. Like, do you think she knew before?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think somebody put it in her ear. I think she knew and was like, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this. And maybe that was her way to take a stance and to, against that.
She later apologized. She did not like the backlash that happened to that fighter.
Yeah.
But it's possible it could be. I mean, if I'm her trainer, so if you're her trainer, would you let her know?
That's a good question, bro. Probably not. I think that's kind of psyching out your boxer. Why do that? Like why give her that? I mean, this Amini Khalif or Amani Khalif, this isn't Ronda Rousey. This isn't Mike Tyson. She is not a dominant fighter. She won the gold, but it was kind of a weak pool of this. She is not a dominant fighter.
She's not going to fight. She's not beating up Carissa Shields. So Carissa Shields is she's destroying women.
Yeah. No, she's not. She doesn't even look that good. I mean, she's not knocking women out. Like I just think it was. This chick is from Algeria. She looks to some people, she looks like a man. She's got maybe strong face, whatever. And the chick was from Italy, and she's crying, and it doesn't look good. And then somebody had to start it where, man's beating up on women. She's a trans, and it snowballs from there, right? So I think a lot of us, myself included, even elevated it to a spot it didn't need to be. It's my thought process, but controversy sells. People like that stuff. I understand. I'm against the Fallon Foxes of the world transitioning and then man to woman and now they're fighting chicks. No, I'm against the Leah Thompson. I think your name Thompson was her last name. I can't remember. It was Leah.
Yeah, I think Leah Thomas is her name. Yeah,
Leah Thomas. Yeah, thank you. I'm against that. I'm against that because it takes away opportunities and medals and ribbons and scholarships from women, from girls. So if my daughter's a swimmer and she's got to face this man that used to be a man just 2 years ago and was a swimmer, and now he's faster, stronger,
Yeah.
I'm upset as a dad, right? I don't like that. But I think to me, this was different. She was raised as a girl. I think the chromosome thing is different than it's different than trans. So
it's definitely not simple. I guess it should go to the Olympics to have a more transparent policy on this situation. So what happens if someone has some like an intersex condition? What do you do? So everyone could come in and have an understanding. Okay, this is how we're going
Yeah.
to go. But yeah, if that Italian boxer would have just stayed in and just got lost, but didn't go out as dramatically as she did, the story
I
would
don't
not
think
have
we're
blown
really.
up.
You're 100% right.
And so yeah, sometimes a punch that may look not that bad can really hurt you. I mean,
Sure. Yeah.
it kind of remind me of the George Foreman Michael Moore fight. That and also it's George Foreman, so he's hitting you is going to hurt. But
Well,
that right that he when one minute he's losing the fight. I mean, Foreman is losing the fight, but he kept setting up the right. I mean,
Yep.
Teddy Atlas was, I think he was Michael Moore's yeah, he was a trainer. He's like right before that round, he's trying to set you up for the right. He's trying to set you up for right. So don't.
And Foreman's got one of the hardest rights in the history of boxing.
And Foreman is tired and swinging, and then it was a jab. He jabbed him in the face and knocked him out. It wasn't some overhand. And you look at it, you're like, damn. But it's George Foreman, and he destroys people.
Yeah.
I saw the hit. It was a good hit. I mean, I don't think it was like something from what I remember. It was like, all right. But to falter, everyone is different.
Yeah. I mean, plus if it's that hard, if you've never been hit that hard in your life, you usually fall.
Oh yeah.
And she didn't. So I look at it a little differently. I see your perspective, but I look at it like she kind of punked out. I didn't get it. It was weird.
Yeah.
The whole thing was just kind of weird on all angles and sides, and how people reacted to it was weird. How people still are like, I don't know. I just don't really. I look at her as a chick, so that's just how I look at it. I look at some of the other women I'm seeing in the Olympics. A girl, that rugby player, that looks like a man to me. Yeah. That to me is more of a man, regardless of the chromosomes, than the boxer. It just, I mean, if you can look her up and put her up on the screen, just look up American rugby player, and she's gonna pop right up. She's awesome. She's on TikTok. She's very funny. She's a beast.
Do other sports do gender testing?
Yeah, I would imagine, but I'm not really sure, man. I think her name's Alana. I don't know, but she should pop right up. She looks like the Hulk, and she's bigger than everybody. To me, that's more of an advantage than this boxer had. She's a dude. She looks like a dude, legit.
Elena Moore or something like
that's
that?
her. Yep.
Let me present.
I mean, okay. So I want you to put that up on the screen, right? Because I think as Americans, if we
is it this her?
We ain't got no problem with her. That's a dude, right? So I think if we were to jump the gun like the people did about the boxers, and we saw her throwing people around like she does doing rugby, but there's no outcry. Everybody loves her. So
that's the thing. Also the thing that you have to recognize is, did she fail a test? So that's the thing that you have to look at. The reason why a lot of people, the outrage is we all do the look, and we shouldn't. Yeah. We shouldn't look at someone and we don't know. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we make mistakes, right? Just walking down the street, you be like, you make mistakes because it don't work that way. Some people look more feminine, some people more masculine. We all have different ideas of what femininity looks like, what masculinity looks like, right? I mean, we can go through stereotypes, but our brains try to process information quickly. We can't look at all the details. We don't know these people, right? So the problem is with with Iman Khalif is the fact that she failed the test.
It's a test.
It's the test. So how one organization failed that said, yeah, you have X and Y chromosome. You're a male. You can't qualify. Then the Olympics. That's the biggest issue. But yeah, looks, we can go. Yeah. I mean, we could look at Brock Lesnar's daughter.
That looked like Brock Lesnar's daughter.
She looks like Brock Lesnar. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not saying
so you don't think her testosterone's a little crazy? I mean, I don't know. I think when we're talking like the bodies and the intersexes and this and that, for me, I just, and this is probably really ignorant, but like, I'm gonna say, what are your genitalia? I don't give a fuck about your chromosome. What are your genitalia? If you got balls and a dick, you a dude. If you got a vagina, you're a chick. That's when it comes to sports, that's how I would look at it.
So this is Brock Lesnar's daughter. Now, Brock Lesnar being a guy that I think we all kind of know, he seems like a guy who lives in the middle of nowhere. He's not on some woke shit. He's not taking a person that he thinks, I think that's a woman. But that Brock Lesnar created that. Like that's Brock Lesnar's seed, and if male or female is going to look like that.
Yeah.
But some people you do the eyeball test like that. Is that a woman?
Is that a dude? Right.
One say that to his face or her face.
Right.
She will kill both of us at the same time. Like that's strong. Like Brock Lesnar is a strong fucking human being. Even before the roids. Like he was NCAA like wrestling champion, heavyweight. Like the guy is an athletic freak.
Yeah.
And then he put the roids and he's like 300 pounds. So she's like she's doing wrestling and doing other athletic stuff, and she's like destroying stuff. But the eye test, like I don't know if she took a gender test, but I'll bet she's probably just a female because I don't think Brock Lesnar.
Right. And in some sports, they might test more than others. Some organizations. What country is that Olympics or World Championship being sanctioned by? Different rules, right?
Yeah,
we have different rules in America than in parts of Europe or Africa, or lenient, more strict. So there's a lot of factors here, right? Because clearly, women like that, the other girl we just saw, they have a physical advantage that over most women, even high competitive women here, right? So I think there's a lot of other things. I think it's just she won gold, so if anything, it's kind of like ironic that you know, she got all that hate and she still wins. So it's kind of interesting that it happened for her.
Her name is Maya Lynn Lesnar. I don't know how much she benches. She probably benched more than 450. Shit.
No way.
I don't know, man.
I can't bench half of that. I can't bench half of that.
Listen, she may do some wrestling herself. 21 years old.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Just a beast. I mean, athletic people create athletic children.
Right.
But I understand. I understand your point. Like it's definitely a nuance, but I think we have been so burdened over and overwhelmed with the transgender thing that I think a lot of people did probably go there and then saw a woman crying.
Yeah.
And we don't want a man hitting on a woman at all.
Never.
Right. So I think a lot of that kind of came together. And then obviously, we're going to have people taking stories and using it to funnel other situations, other narratives.
Yeah.
But there's some questions they need to answer. There gotta have to be a more transparent policy on what is acceptable, what isn't.
They gotta fix it for next time.
Right.
They gotta fix it for next time and have some clear rules, guidelines, whatever. I mean, they gotta do something. And that might be having a tough conversation with certain people saying, hey, we're just not gonna allow this because it gives you a competitive advantage in a physical sport. And if that's the case, and if they just stand by that, and then the other organizations can come to agreement, then hey, it is what it is. You're gonna have to box somewhere else, or, but it sucks for her or him, whatever you want to call that person. But
because
she was there and she won, and it didn't look like she cheated to me. She didn't beat, so it is.
And look at her record. She's not, like you said, she's not
no.
destroying the competition. I mean, she's still amateur when you think about it. Speaking of the devil, Giggity,
there he is.
I know you missed a little bit of it. I forgot the comment he dropped on your videos. Like, is that your kind of woman? But I passed. I mean, I'm looking. I haven't seen anything saying that if she had, but someone actually had a question. What if you had both? Because you can.
Yeah.
I've never. Have you ever? All right. I don't want to get too weird, but have you ever seen that before? Not in person.
Never even on a
Google search. A picture of it.
Let's look it up right now. Hold on.
No, I look at it right now.
Never have. I know it's a thing, but I've never wanted to look. Never took a girl home and said, "Whoa."
No. I'm saying like you're curious that you have this thing in your pocket. So you clearly can open up the world of all the world's information. I have it.
Clearly,
I didn't. But
why are you
question just came to me because we're talking about it, and I'm thinking, like you talk about it was I think it's a hermaphrodite or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like someone could have both.
They can.
I had never seen it. That's all. I was wondering. Like, I don't even know how that would even look. Now, I thought you may have seen the picture. You could describe it to me or something. Like, is it next to each other? Is it one?
How am I supposed to know? I told you.
Is it one?
Is it one coming out of the other, and then the little thing opens up?
Okay, this is a really mature conversation. I'm talking as my
LGBTQ A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3s are gonna come after us, bro.
Oh no. Oh geez, can I even put that message up? Can you? I can't put that message up.
Nobody's watching. I'll put it up.
No one's watching.
Look at that.
I got nothing. I got nothing.
Listen, I don't, man. I
would say for that question, it is probably something that the organization is going to have to handle. Because I'm assuming probably the same elevated testosterone levels. Elevated testosterone, you are stronger, faster. You have a stronger libido. That's why I'm trying to get the TRT. I want to get.
I know, bro. You're trying to get
my gills.
I know you're trying to get Dr. Dre, Busta Rhymes. I get it. I get that. My point is, okay, that chick we saw, the rugby player, she clearly is bigger, faster, stronger, genetically.
She probably has
different.
More.
Her testosterone, if I was a betting man, is higher than all the other chicks. So should she be disqualified because she has an unfair competitive advantage?
That's a good point.
He's throwing people around, bro. I've seen her. She's literally running with that ball at rugby, right? And picking chicks up and throwing them.
But some women just can do that, though.
Because of their competitive advantage based on their genetics and their chromosomes and their testosterone. And some men can't. I don't have that kind of strength. I can never do that to somebody, right? So I don't know. It's an interesting conversation because I think it speaks to, like what you said, the temperature of especially our country and how we feel about transgender, how we feel about women, men. Like, it's a hot topic. Politically, it is. Like, bathrooms now, like all these things that have happened in a very short amount of time. I feel like it's just the last 10 years or so, but it's really been amplified. And people really feel some type of way about it. You know, me, I don't. People could do, like, I'm not worried about what somebody else is doing or who they're having sex with, but a lot of people are. And, you know, it's going to continue to be like that, I think. So
Giggity, just, and I this one I understand. Like that's kind of my position. If you couldn't pass the world championships, how you're able to, like, what's the conversation? Why? Maybe I didn't look that up. Maybe there is a reason why one was allowed and one isn't. That's where people are upset. They're like, wait, what's going on?
The way that the guy in the way some of the Olympic people explained it when I saw them, because they had to answer to that.
Yeah.
Well, and they had her back most, you know.
Right.
If you think about it, like when we talked about the gun laws in this country on Monday, right? Or last Wednesday or whatever,
last
right?
Wednesday, yeah.
You have strict gun laws in New York City, the strictest of all the states. In Missouri, very lenient, but we live in the same country. Different governing bodies can have different things. So I think the world championship people look at things differently than the Olympic committee. So I think that's how I would answer that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Which and that's where they're gonna have to reevaluate it.
They have to.
So we can kind of understand what everyone is getting themselves into. Like you said before, you may not even told your trainer, well, there's some controversy. You may just say, listen, you need to fight. You need to do your game plan. We've seen film. We know what this person's going to do. Let's focus on that, which I understand. Like,
and then you can throw the towel in. As a trainer, you throw the towel in. If it's getting out of hand, you got to protect your boxer. You throw the towel in. But 40 seconds into that fight, that wasn't the case yet. But I to that point, I get that. But they're going to have to do something, because what we don't want to see in LA is somebody else really beating up on shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they come to find out it's
and like and it's LA.
It's LA already. We do not need that or want that. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see any woman get beat up, really, even badly, by anybody, much less a man, right? So they definitely have to figure it out. So.
Yeah. Giggity said, if someone is able to compete with an elevated testosterone, then other ladies should be able to take steroids.
Listen, I mean, then we got to do that for all sports.
Yeah.
You know, then if we're going to level the playing field, we got to do it for every sport, you know.
But I guess
you're not wrong.
I guess
he's not wrong.
It is a difference between testosterone levels and XY chromosomes. I think that's a big difference. Okay, yes, some people have more than others. Some women are extremely strong, but do they have XY chromosomes?
Yeah.
Some people are very, especially like I said, in a lot of our arguments in our culture, there's only two, man and woman. There is no medium. There's other people saying there is a spectrum, not necessarily. Some is based on your thoughts and what you identify with. And some people don't agree with that, but I think at least with the scientifically, like, they are a rare form of people.
Yeah.
That with no fault of their own, where do they fit? And that's the complicated. So I mean, hopefully they'll have that done. They got 4 years to figure it out, to kind of figure it out. But in terms of I said the NBA, WNBA or the women's basketball, like I said, last game was pretty interesting. Which is weird, right? They were beating up everyone.
France had the ball at the end, could have won the game.
Yeah.
She hit that shot. I mean, she was, I think, a foot above the 3-point line. Like, it was rushed, but yeah, they won by 1 point. I mean, it's amazing. France, I mean, both teams had to play France, which is, I don't think that's ever happened before. And the women almost got upset. I mean, a foot difference.
That wouldn't have happened if Caitlin Clark was there.
Well,
blew them out by 30.
Listen, the GOAT of the WNBA to this point is Diana Taurasi. I don't know if she scored any points the entire tournament. She didn't play. Seriously, I think she had 0-0-0.
Did she play his last game?
No, she had some minutes in other games, but she had no. She was just there to be there, and hey, it's a legacy thing.
Caitlin would have played. Caitlin is a fantastic passer. Yes. That's why I realized too at the All-Star game, she ain't trying to shoot the lights out. She's like, if y'all all can catch my passes and finish, I don't know problem dribbling and getting into some spots and passing the ball to y'all, which are the greatest.
Her and Angel should have been there, man. Like I said, since day one, they screwed that up. The viewership was down.
Yeah, I didn't know.
The engagement was not there.
There was no storylines. There's no controversy.
No storylines, man. And nobody wanted to see them chicks. Like, they want to see Caitlin and Angel. They just do. So
the world's they haven't the rest of the world haven't caught up the way the men have at this point. Probably a little later on, but just the best are the women. AJ Wilson's ridiculously dominant. There's no competition. There's no Wemby and some French woman that's destroyed. It's not there. So the fact they did not put the most popular human beings on that side, it's embarrassing. And they're still making money. They realize they got the TV deals and they still sell the arenas. It's just they gotta stop the stereotypical I'm jealous. That woman is too famous. I don't like it. They gotta stop it. And I know I'm being stereotypical, but I don't know what other reason for them not to be on that team. Why Diana Taurasi is 4 years old, and obviously because the sport has passed by, you're too old. Why are you there? Because you've been there for a long time and you're not playing well. You could have had a 20-something-year-old full of energy. They may not even got to that point where it's one more score and they could have won the game. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is on that one.
Yeah, good point. The guys, though, I mean, let's talk about that for a minute, man. Stephen Curry, 4 threes in like a 2.5-minute span or something. I mean, he
was kind of slow in the beginning of the tournament, but then he picked up and he saved the day. At least the
last two games, he scored 36 and 30 or something, or 36 and 24. So 60 points in the last two games. It's crazy. Yeah.
The biggest story to me, and I was watching one of my favorite basketball podcasts, the one with Jeff Teague. I forgot the name of it, but he's the funniest. He's funny, and he talked about he said, if I'm in the NBA, I am afraid of the Celtics. They're going to be a team on the mission. They're coming in angry. They're coming in like
motivated.
Fuck all of y'all. Jason Tatum was first team All NBA, Finals MVP. The man couldn't find time on the floor.
No, he wasn't Finals MVP.
He wasn't Finals. It was Jalen.
No. Jalen Brown was Finals MVP.
Okay, John. Yeah.
And I think he was maybe. No, Jalen Brown didn't even make it All NBA, which was weird too. But Jason Tatum was first team NBA. You're right.
So Tatum didn't get a lot of minutes.
No.
Jalen Brown did not even get picked. Clearly, he had a problem with it.
They picked Derek White, his teammate.
And I know this kind of sucks because Derek White is in a weird position. They benefited when he played. I'll just say that. Like I didn't think that he was there for like the guy. Because you realize he wasn't going to score, and he played some really great defense.
Yeah, really.
Can he play like who's a better defender, Derek White or Jason Tatum?
They're overall Derek White,
and I think that he's probably low maintenance.
Yeah,
just you're not. There ain't going to be no controversy if you play or not. And I think I think Steve Kerr kind of used those things. But if you're Jason Tatum, you gotta be so
Bro,
motivated.
I'm
They
salty.
may
I'm
win
salty.
70 something games. I'm annoyed because they're in the East, and I don't. And I'm not even joking. Tatum could be come right back to the States, meet up with Jalen Brown, say, "Yo, they don't respect us at all.
That's what I'm
They
doing.
they with the old heads, and we almost lost, and they wouldn't put me. They didn't even pick you. We're going to every night just go crazy with a
Yeah.
very dominant team.
Yep.
I'm concerned. So that's just my thought.
I think as a Knicks fan, you should be. There's a good Porzingis will be back. Derek White be back. Holiday's back. Brown, Tatum. And you got these two dudes, Brown and Tatum.
60 plus wins.
They're gonna. I mean, if I'm Tatum,
I'm angry.
I'm pissed off.
Yeah,
I think he handled it very well. His mom came out and said some things, but if he's professional, that's Tatum. He's not like that. But I'm pissed. I mean, I just won a championship. I'm first team All NBA. I'm on the cover of NBA 25. I'm on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I say all the right things. I do all the right things. I'm a good-looking young guy. I'm in the prime of my career, coming off an NBA championship, and my coach is giving me DMPs. You're giving me no minutes, not even 3 minutes a game. I can't come in at the second half to start or the end of the. I can't rest it. LeBron and Steph almost played every single minute of most games.
It was very favorable to
listen, those guys are goats. Steph Curry is one of the goats. LeBron's one of the goats. But come on, man.
They gave Curry a lot of time to get out of that slump.
A lot of time.
Where it was like, yo, he's kind of struggling, and they would not. And Curry is no defensive lockdown dude either.
No.
So
it's weird. But I think the thing is, you got the position that Tatum plays isn't Curry's position or LeBron.
True.
So he's gaming for minutes. KD's KD. KD's better than Tatum even right now. He just is. Anthony Edwards, really good player, right? So those are the guys he was competing. The wings. He was competing versus those guys for playing time. So
you say KD is better than Tatum. Do you think Anthony Edwards is better than Tatum?
Overall, I do
right
not.
now.
No. Overall, as a player, I do not. I think he's more electrifying. He's better for media. He's a great, funny guy. He's not better overall basketball player than Anthony Edwards. Even if you look at the stats, Tatum's a better rebounder. Defensively, they're very similar in their stats. Tatum's overall a little bit better scorer, but we can maybe call that even. Tatum has more assists than Edwards. I mean, I think Tatum is a better player. Yeah.
Do you think Tatum is just too nice? He's not aggressive enough.
A little bit. He's a light.
Anthony Edwards is ridiculously assertive.
Yes.
Even when it doesn't make any sense. And I think KD has that. LeBron just owns the league at this point. Curry may have that low key the way he be moving sometimes, and I think
Curry's got that. I think he walks in the room with man just.
What do you call it? That dog and whatever you want.
I think he's got some.
Yeah,
sure.
And Tatum
more than Tatum.
Don't have that to a point where he is complaining. May not be publicly, but to be like, yo, what? I ain't shit. Like I'm pretty good. So that could be it. I think.
Yeah, I think this is going to give Tatum some dog. If I'm him, listen. I mean, I feel a little disrespected, and the Boston's already going to be really good. This might give him a little more of a reason to really go out there and show these guys. Well, let's run this back. Yeah. Let's show the league and the world. You want to play me? You didn't even want to pick my boy. Let's go out here and win 68 games, or something, and then just dominate because they were pretty dominant in the playoffs. I know they had some teams they played that were injured. They were still pretty dominant.
Yeah, I'm annoyed, man, because I think they because usually what happens when you win a championship, we all seen this. The team kind of gets a little deflating because we got a championship and it takes a lot.
Or you lose a guy or two or something,
Right. I want to see the first Celtics Warriors game, and they're going to beat the shit out of the Warriors. I already know.
Listen, Tatum's dropping a 50-piece, man. Come on, think about that. Like he's going to go out there and be like, "Fuck you, Steve Kerr." Like I'm gonna, he has to have that in his brain.
Oh, you have to.
if he doesn't, I'm questioning his competitiveness a little bit.
Right? Take that personally, right? Do the Jordan like
yeah,
I took that personally. Because what else? What other reason you're not putting him on? Is there something behind the scenes? Probably not. I think Kerr relied a lot, and that almost got him in trouble with the. They almost lost that game, man. Like I was watching, like, holy shit,
Victor balled out. I thought he would. He played fantastic. He didn't play as good defensively as I thought. I don't even think he had one block. So I was a little surprised by that. But I think they cut it to 3 points. 2 or 3 points with a couple of minutes to go. And then Curry comes down and hits a three.
Right.
And then they get a stop. He hits another three. And then it ballooned from there. But they were one possession with a couple minutes to go.
Yeah. I always felt like the France game, they had it. Like the game before is where I thought, that's what I was saying, the way I thought, like
the Serbia,
because it was getting very close to the end, and they're like, oh, they're still behind. What's going on? And they had to pull that game out. And Tatum is just chilling. It's weird. I know I think he did play that game, but still, I think they woke up. They've woken up a sleeping monster. They have all the motivation now. The rest of the team's gonna rally behind Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and now the Knicks got to deal with this shit. It's annoying. Yes, cheeky chops. I agree. We should get Anthony Mason back because we need something. Because
the Knicks are loaded, bro. The Knicks, that pickup, Mikal Bridges, he's reliable. He plays defense. He's 3-and-D. He's long. The Knicks are loaded. So if anybody's gonna have a run at the Celtics, it's the Knicks. I mean, it's going to be an interesting basketball year in the Eastern Conference. I mean, it's going to be interesting. The Sixers got Paul George. Like that whole Atlantic Conference is just loaded, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But Jeff Teague said that, and because a lot of players are saying it was kind of weird, like why he hasn't get enough time. What's going on? But I think, like you said, it's positioning, and it's the favoritism towards the big stars. And I don't know. I don't know. I would like to. Kerr would honestly answer what is it about Tatum's game that you think he shouldn't be playing these games? Because there must be something that Kerr is seeing, and maybe they had Eric Spoelstra in there. They had Tyronn Lue in there. What is it? What's happening? No,
it's almost like did he show up late for a meeting? Like there has to be a backstory. Maybe they're protecting him, but not playing him. But it's strange because he played in some games. The game versus Puerto Rico, he played really well. He played in the gold medal game in the first half for 4 or 5 minutes. I think he had 2 points. I mean, but he just wasn't there during the crunch time. But, when he got guys like Embiid, he played well. Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker was playing really good. He played a little bit better than people thought. And then obviously KD, Steph, and LeBron carried that team. Yeah. They just did. Those 3 guys, I expected them to do that because I felt like Curry's never been there before. He wants to get a gold medal. He talked about that. LeBron, ended his career. KD's the most decorated Olympian in basketball history at this point, men or women's, most medals, most points. I mean, he's KD's unstoppable, man. I mean, it's wild. There's just a lot of that team that they comprise. This team would beat any other Olympic team. The 92 team, the Redeem team. I think that team was just so stacked. So
what's it? I think the 2012 team. I mean, first of all, the original Dream Team. Listen,
you had MJ and Barkley.
Yeah, so I think that, but Kobe, young LeBron,
Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade.
I don't know, man. I think that team could beat this team.
You think so?
Melo.
I think there's a lot of things that cancel each other out. Okay. I think there's some things that cancel each other out there. But the one player that none of those other teams had, the 92 team, the 12 team, there was a good team with Shaq and Olajuwon and the third Dream Team or second Dream Team. The second Dream Team was good too. Yeah. But the one person they ain't got is Mr. Chef Curry. That guy, you see what he does in big games. I mean, none of the other teams have a shooter like that. So that's why I give that team a slight advantage. Yeah. The Dream Team had nobody shooting threes like that.
No, I mean, that wasn't even
a game.
Yeah, it wasn't even a contemplated.
I mean, when you got a guy like that can score you 12 points in a 2-minute span. I mean, that's
Kobe would have got him. Like, yo, fuck that shit.
Listen,
He ain't scoring
who you
on me.
telling? I love Kobe Bean Bryant, but he ain't doing that, bro. He ain't doing that.
I saw. Did you see the Redeem Team documentary?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And the scene where it's the first game, and they're playing Paul Gasol's team, and he's telling everyone, "I'm gonna set the tone. I'm gonna run through that motherfucker." And it was like,
oh, I love that
"Wait,
shit.
what? Wait, what? Like, what do you mean you didn't do that? That's your dude. That's your you play with the Lakers with him first day, and he already knew to play, and this motherfucker runs through his own teammate
right through a 7-footer that they just got done winning a championship 2 weeks before." Kobe Bryant's different.
So you telling me Kobe Bryant's gonna just let Curry just like do the fancy roller shit? He's like, I got him. I got him.
You might have got me there. I forgot about that, but I remember. But you know what I like most about that? That documentary is really good.
It's a solid one, really solid.
The reactions from the players, LeBron's and the Chris Bosh, is like, oh shit.
It's a different level. Yeah. That's MJ level competitiveness that they don't got.
Yes.
They're ultra talented, obviously Hall of Fame. The only person that understood that was MJ. Like, that's an MJ thing. Old school basketball. Like, I don't care. You ain't my teammate now. Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Do not even try to be friendly in this situation. And it's intimidating. And it's like Paul Gasol was like on the ground.
Dude,
this nigga
and he didn't just ran. That was
full speed,
intentional. Like, he didn't care if he got tackled flagrant. Like, I'm running through this. I'm setting the tone.
That's a flagrant too right now. The way the NBA is moving. Sure. Yeah, that was a powerful scene of the level of when Kobe was there. That you can't play soft at all.
And Kobe in the gold medal game, they played Spain to win the gold as well. And he had like the last 8 points or something. He hit a big three, a couple of assists, a couple of fadeaway jumpers. Like, Kobe Bryant was the best player on that team.
He took it seriously. At any game, he took All-Star games seriously. He took it. Didn't matter. Every game was as important, and that's what we loved about him, and still miss him to this day. But yeah, all in all, Olympics, I think it was pretty fun. A lot of entertainment. I like it because it gives me something to watch in the summer. Now it's football, and watch how terrible my goddamn Giants are going to be. And
man, listen.
Whatever.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I've been on the train of the Caleb Williams hate, but
he's looking better, right?
He looked good. He looked good.
Yeah, he's not,
he looked pretty good. So we'll see what the Bears do. But the Giants are it ain't looking good, son. We
ain't got it. What do we have? Right? Yeah. Are we gonna just tank this shit and try again next year? Because there's no. What's the reason to try? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you're not beating the Eagles, not beating the Cowboys.
He said at the watch, they're going to win the first 4 games. Watch, they're going to be 4-0, and Hannibal's going to get a jersey and a hat and be like, "I told you they're going to be good." What? That's what's going to happen.
The only team the Giants are guaranteed to win is the Commanders. Sorry, that for some reason we can get.
Yeah, you win.
Well, you can beat that team. You're not beating the Cowboys twice. You're not beating them. No, it's just not happening. No, not at all. So it is what it is. But is anything going on this weekend? I don't think there's any sports related. I think it's probably more football. We get more into the football talk on Monday as we get into this. I know. Did you start your fantasy drafts and all that crap?
Man, listen, it's a little interesting because I think I did fantasy for like 14 years in a row. This is the first year in the last like 14 years that I'm not doing fantasy. I opted out. I started to notice that I would watch games and like worry about scoring and the lineup too much. I was giving it too much time. Okay. So I told the guys this year, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. If I watch football, I want to enjoy it and not worry about fantasy, a lineup. So I'm not doing it this year.
I guess you'll see how that experience will be, right? Because
I'm looking
forward. A little different.
No, I'm looking
I'm gonna try. I mean, I don't do the fantasy stuff. I like the betting, but I'm not betting in preseason games. But I'm gonna see what's going on. And then also, do you think you would know your Super Bowl pick by Monday? Who's gonna play? The Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, I've been saying it for a while. I'll wait till Monday though. But yeah, okay. I'll give you my predictions on who I think will make the Super Bowl on both sides and who will win before we start the season.
Cool. Yeah. I don't have no idea. I really have to start figuring out what's going on. Yeah. All I know is the Giants will not be in the Super Bowl.
No.
I'm pretty certain.
The Giants are going to win like 6 games, bro.
That would be okay. You give me 7, 6, 7. There's some promise of some young guys they're showing some level of life. I'll take it. I mean,
I think 6 or 7 is realistic.
Yeah.
They're not going to win 2 or 3. I mean, they're not. They have a good, decent defense. They do have a couple playmakers. They got a coach that's a good play caller. So I mean, you got Danny Dimes, right? Isn't that what you call him? So he's good for a couple of wins at least by himself.
He better have a big giant leap in ability and talent, and not turn the ball over and not just look completely lost. Like not get hurt. So if he somehow turn up, which I have not seen, no reports saying, holy shit, man, look at training camp, he's on fire. We don't know what we're doing. So
he might show up with a big fat rope chain and a face tattoo, and he's a whole new Danny Dimes, and he's just out there balling. Who knows, man? He might have that dog in him out over the summer. We have no idea.
Give me something. That's all. Just give me something. But we'll figure it out. But Wednesday we'll have some stuff going on. I'm sure there's always something happening in this crazy world of ours. But appreciate you guys for hanging out with us.
Always
enjoying, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.